Hey guys, welcome to Creepin' It Real. We're on our new day and on our new time. Tuesdays at 7. Sorry to scare you, we're a little late, but it's okay. It's a new day. Yeah. So we are Creepin' It Real, a radio hour dedicated to the weird and wacky history of Washington and the greater Pacific Northwest. I'm Emily.
I'm Ian.
And I'm Gabe.
Let's get this party startled.
Boo. It's been a month, y'all.
Yeah.
It's been too long. Too long.
I'm sure our listeners really missed us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, good. We're also live.
We're Instagram living right now.
So this is exciting.
Where are you? Oh.
Hello.
Hello.
So should we do a check-in?
Yeah, I think we all need to do a check-in.
So, Ian, I would like to start with you.
Oh, good. Yeah. I think the biggest change in this new year for me is that on the 3rd of the year, through a Wednesday, I shattered my 5th metatarsal in my foot.
What?
And I'm now in a boot.
Starting the year out right.
Starting the year out right, on a good foot.
On the
On the right. Oh, that's it. That's it. On the right foot.
Is it your right foot?
It is. It's my left foot.
Oh.
Which is a good thing because I can drive. But I'm in a boot for 6 to 8 weeks. It's pretty bruised. What's fun about it is the first night when it happened, don't go running at night. That's rule number 1. But I hit it on a slab of concrete that had been disjointed from the actual curb, and I hit it so hard, obviously broke my foot, and flew about 15 feet into a bushel of ivy.
Okay, here's my question.
Yeah.
So I've heard that you run pretty fast. What's your mile time?
I have gone anywhere, but my best mile time was like 7:26.
Okay.
Which is like okay.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
But usually I average around 8:30 to 9, which
Okay.
that 30 seconds is a big difference.
You must be
but
going super fast if you literally
yeah, I know. It was wild.
That's why I asked, because like when I'm running, I'd probably just like fall directly down on the ground if I tripped on something.
One of our listeners, Maddie, says you run really fast.
She doesn't know me.
Yeah.
I'm kidding. He doesn't know me.
Well, thanks for listening anyways.
No, I appreciate it. I do run really fast, so thanks. I don't know what that means. Anyway, yeah, so I've been, I don't know where else to go. I sleep weirdly now. I ice it 3 times a day.
Wow. It's exhausting.
It's like not fun. Obviously,
Do
it's
you
not
have
fun.
handicap sticker?
No. And so the day I went, I broke it at night. The next morning went to the emergency room just because I was like, it's probably not broken. I can still walk on it. So like all night I was walking on my foot.
You didn't go to the emergency room at night?
No.
Oh, I didn't.
And I'm like, I'm just gonna ice my foot. It's probably just a sprain. And woke up fully a blue and purple foot. And I'm like, yeah, this isn't normal. And then put me in a boot and they said, you gotta stay home for the rest of the day and don't really go anywhere. I'm like, I have a meeting in Seattle that I have to go to, so I'm gonna do that. Came home, the swelling was, Gabe saw me that night.
Yeah.
Swelling was still pretty bad.
Ooh, I want to see.
I could take it out. Anyway, my swollen toes. But that's my life right now.
Cool.
And so I'm just looking for jobs and rusting my foot.
Yeah, you graduated.
I graduated.
How does it feel?
Weird.
Is this your first time
super weird
back on campus since you graduated? Right now, this moment.
It's haunted.
Oh, okay.
No, it's fine. I don't know. It's weird. I do miss being in class. I like learning, which sounds so lame. I'm not. It sounds so stupid.
I totally get it
That's
because
what
it's
he
like
said on our introductions on our first pod.
Oh yeah, and I made fun of you. For that.
I get it. Yeah, I totally feel that because we were just gone for a month and I was really ready to come back.
Yeah.
And go back to classes.
It's just weird to like do this for like so long. Like I've been in school for 5 years and every not having a always like looking forward to going back after break and then being like, well, I guess I can finish Michelle Obama's book now. I don't know.
Which? How was it?
It was good. Like, it was good.
Okay.
There's some really great tidbits in there.
What was your favorite part?
I liked her going over like what campaigning was like with her husband during those years. Really cool insights to like how she like looks at the American public, like in a good way, and stuff like that. So it was good. Anyway, enough about me.
Yeah. You're not gonna ask about how mine.
I was just gonna say, Emily, you're next.
What did I do? I skied a lot.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Where'd you ski?
In Meadows, I got a 5 times Meadow pass. So I've been going up to the mountain a lot, to shred the POW.
Yeah, powder's bitching, right?
Yeah. Actually, I haven't actually been when there's powder.
Wait, hold on. I have to ask a question. What's the difference between... Wait, is there a difference... Is snow just powder?
Whoa. You don't know the difference between fresh POW and... Okay. It's just like if it snowed the night before.
Oh.
And there's like fresh snow. Okay. I've only gone when it's like hard and packed and icy.
And that's not good.
Right.
Is that dangerous?
I mean, it's just... You slide down the mountain a lot faster, and when you like stop, it's just harder to stop because then you just slide across the ice.
Gotcha. Okay.
So
sounds
you could
like
say
a fun
pretty
time.
hardcore, and it just hurts when you fall. But I don't fall, so I wouldn't know.
Must be nice.
Yeah.
But so my ultimate dream, ever since I was a child, was to be on the mountain when it turned pink.
Like
yeah,
from
like
the
in the
sunset? Okay.
Which is called Alpine Glow.
Did you frickin' accomplish that dream?
Did.
Hell yeah.
That's cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So
does
That's
it
great.
look pink around you?
Yeah, and not to like mention there's beautiful sunset on the other side. So just like a whole 360, awesome.
That's so cool.
That's great.
Yeah. Except, so that we were skiing all day at Meadows, and then we went to Timberline to watch because it was more facing the sunset.
Right.
And we didn't want to buy Meadows passes or no, Timberline passes after so we just hiked up the hill in our ski boots.
Are you serious?
Yes.
How long did that take you?
Yeah.
It had to take me like 40 minutes because the sunset was happening, so we just stopped and watched it. But it was like, that was rough.
Yeah, but dream come true.
But worth it.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, that's about it. And then when we do our segments, I'll say more about.
Oh yeah, segment.
Yeah, at the end of the show, we have segments where we each get to talk about our own interests.
Yeah.
So,
some of us are more academically inclined. Not me.
yes, Gabe's favorite. Gabe is the guru of what is that?
Spooky
Fun facts?
Fun facts guru.
Yeah.
I actually have like actual fun facts this week.
Are they spooky
cool.
fun?
One of them is
Oh, good. Not like the Mariana Trench one where
it's just like
it's not scary.
Yeah.
It's just spooky to think about.
and it's not even really a fun fact. It's just like
That's gonna happen. Yeah.
yeah.
How was
But-
your winter break?
Yeah, Gabe.
It was great.
Tell us about you.
I got a lot of reading done, some personal reading.
What books?
I read the Mistborn series by Brandon Sanderson,
My father.
my
brother loves that series.
yes. Shout out to Seth,
If you're listening.
who introduced that book series to me. Is great. One of my favorite book series of all time. So it's really good. I recommend it. Yeah.
Nice.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That all?
Is that all you did? Read
And I
this
saw
one?
family and friends
Oh,
and
okay, yeah.
yeah, the usual.
Just a chill.
Yeah,
break.
super chill. Exactly what I wanted. It was great.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's it? That's all you have to say?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Emily accomplished
ready
a
to-
dream. I broke my foot. You read some books.
I read books. Hey, you read books too.
I did.
Yeah, don't be hating on the readers here. Come on.
Nah.
Reading is cool.
Reading is cool, and people should do it more often.
Yeah.
Yes. You know what else is new that we did over winter break?
What we do? Oh,
Yeah.
yes, I know. what
We
you're gonna say.
started a YouTube channel.
Yes. So if you missed any episodes, we have them all uploaded to YouTube. We don't want to pay for a website, so we're gonna just put them on YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or any other streaming device
Yeah.
service.
Like Apple Music and Spotify, you need to pay for a URL, and I don't know if
No,
he really
thanks.
Maybe
cares.
someday.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe we'll set up a GoFundMe. Our listeners can, I'm just kidding. But anyway, so yeah, go there, and the link is in our bio and Instagram.
Yeah.
Because when you search Creepin' It Real on YouTube, there's too much junk that comes up first, so it's easier to just do the link.
Yeah.
Or if you do, make the search users or channels.
Yeah, channels, Creepin' It Real, or
Yeah.
just say Creepin' It Real Pod, and you should. It's just a white background. The thumbnail's white with our logo.
Yeah.
But yeah, enjoy it.
Pretty exciting.
Pretty exciting stuff.
Yeah.
Like and subscribe.
Yeah.
Smash that like button.
Smash it.
Yeah.
Please. We already have 50 views on one of them.
Yeah, we do.
And
we already have 11 subscribers.
Yeah,
Wait,
so-
wait, hold on. 50?
50 views, but
No way.
to my chagrin, it is the one
Chagrin?
that I am not a part of. Which, I think
yeah.
that is a statement.
That's right. That's the one
With our
Josh.
good
What-
pal Josh, who came on.
What's
to
the next
sub for
highest
me.
one?
I'm
11?
sorry, I misspoke earlier. We have 14 subscribers.
14?
Thank you so much.
I hope you're all listening right now.
That's great.
Yeah, episode 7 was listened to in full. 11 views on episode 2, which was our serial killer episode.
Good
And that's a
one.
good one.
Yeah.
There's like a buzzing on the thing that if you could... No,
Well, anyways.
I don't know what's happening. Sorry.
Oh, it's gone.
Okay. Anyway.
So,
What do you have for us today, Emily?
Yeah, Emily.
Let's just dive in. So, today I'm going to be talking about the Weyerhaeuser?
Weyerhaeuser?
Weyerhaeuser? Why? Maybe it's because there's an extra E in there.
Yeah.
Or Y. I don't know.
I always thought it was the Wire House, which is
Wire
not
House.
correct, I don't think.
Yeah. So, thanks to historylink.org, I got a very lengthy,
Hell.
just very descriptive.
Okay.
It was too long for me to include. It's a, pretty beefy subject.
I love that.
So, if you guys don't know, this was one of the most famous kidnapping, incidences to happen in Washington.
In Washington?
In Washington.
Wow.
It happened in Tacoma.
Oh,
Of course it did.
honestly, yeah, of course it did. Oh, look at those
And-
photos. Sorry, she has
Yeah.
photos up of the people involved.
Doesn't that just give you the chills?
It does. Down my little spine.
Okay, so who's the victim here?
So, George H. Weyerhaeuser, he was
Oh.
9 years old.
I fully was expecting you to say George H.W. Bush, and I was like, wow, all right.
Yes.
Never heard of it.
surprise. So, they have a very descriptive story on historylink.org. So basically what happened is, I'm just going to start from the beginning, and the rest of it will just kind of fall through. So hold your questions till the end.
Deal.
Okay.
If I can answer them. I don't even know.
Okay.
Okay, so after he was kidnapped, the family got a note in the mail demanding $200,000 for his return, and so the dad paid the ransom, and then eventually he was released. So this is a happy story. It's
Okay.
just crazy how it was just the kidnappers were trialed and sentenced, and they gave a confession. So that's how we know so much detailed about the story,
Oh.
is because they gave confessions of exactly what happened and what they did.
Oh, cool. Okay.
So, so basically, the napping. So at about noon on Friday, May 24th, this is in 1935, 9-year-old George was, so every day him and his sister, they would meet and they would walk to school. But one day his sister wasn't there, and so he decided to walk home instead of wait for her to get out of class or wherever she was. And the home was on 420 North 4th Street.
420.
Smoke.
Uh-huh.
Blaze it.
And so what happened was, since he didn't want to wait, he took an overgrown path that bordered the Tacoma Lawn Tennis Club grounds. And he came out on a road, and there was these two men sitting in a green 1927 Buick sedan. I just love how they paint the picture.
Yeah, they really do.
And so they grabbed him after asking for directions, or that line, where My dog is...
Oh, yeah, like, fully I have candy in my car, yeah.
Yeah. So kids, stay away. Stranger danger.
Yeah.
So they grabbed him, and the automobile sped away. So about 6:25 later, the family got a letter demanding the $200,000, and they had this long note of instructions. So after they raised the money, they were instructed to put an advertisement in the Seattle PI personal column, and then say that we are ready, and then put a anonymous name.
Okay.
And then, so after they posted it, there was another instructions to go to a hotel. So the dad went to the hotel with the money. And there was it was kind of like a treasure. I don't want to say treasure hunt, but there was notes that led to other notes.
So scavenger hunt.
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Yes. Wait.
No, it's
no, because a scavenger hunt is where it's a bunch of different things on a list, and then you have to go find those individual things.
True.
I don't know.
This is just
so it was just a laundry list of steps.
Gotcha.
So he would get to a note, and the notes were in tin cans, or there would be notes on cloth. There would be cloth that were hung on posts, and to notify him where to turn or where to go.
Interesting.
So after he did all that instructions, he waited, and nothing, and his son never came, or nobody ever came.
Oh, and he had the money and everything.
Yes. And so he was he went home, okay. And then he got an anonymous phone call with a gentleman with a very inaccurate English accent.
Oh, good.
And...
Hey, Governor, you me dad?
And they were hey, why didn't you show up? And he was well, I followed the instructions. So, thankfully, they gave him another chance. So they followed instructions again. This time he went to the Pacific Highway, and...
Wait, hold on. I have a question.
Yeah.
Was he by himself the entire time?
The dad.
Whoa.
Yeah. No, they asked the FBI and the police and all that to not interfere because they didn't want anything to happen.
Interesting.
So the instructions this time was that he was going to just drive out into the middle of nowhere with the money, leave his car running and on, and the door open, and just walk away. And that's what he did. And someone came and took the car.
They stole the car.
Yeah. Which was the plan, I guess. And they were if the money's in there, then we'll give you George back. And that's what happened.
So they gave George back.
Yeah. So he just appeared. Let's see. Oh yeah, about 3:30 a.m. on Saturday, June 1st, in 1935. The kidnappers released George down the road in Issaquah. And again, George was impatient and started walking instead of staying there. And
George.
I know. And he wandered into a farm.
Did he get taken again?
Yeah. No, I'm kidding.
Wait.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
What?
He had they made him a nice breakfast, and they drove him back to Tacoma.
Cool. Good story.
Yeah.
Neat.
Yeah.
So,
nobody died.
Yeah.
The nappers.
Yeah, I have another. Oh yeah. So this talks about how they planned the napping. So how they did it was they stalked the family. They watched the family, and they knew who these people were because they were published in a magazine, and so they knew that they were wealthy. They knew that they had lots of money, and so they, after watching their movements and their habits, then they were able to kidnap one of the kids. And they had 2 kids, so they knew.
They were going to get one of them.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Okay.
So that's that.
That's the kid. Yeah.
Yes. Do you want to go next?
Yeah, Gabe.
Yeah, I'll get started here. So first of all, I got all of my information from one of my favorite websites, hauntedhouses.com.
We've been there before.
Yes, we have.
I love them.
Yes, they have the best info.
Most reliable.
It really seems like everything they're saying is 100% accurate, just based on how well thought out the writing is.
Yeah,
you know?
I bet.
Yeah, and the format.
Mm.
Definitely not sensationalist at all.
Definitely not. Especially with a name like hauntedhouses.com. You know you're getting the good stuff.
Yeah, for real. So, I'm talking about Fort Worden State Park, which is in Port Townsend. Which
there.
Yes,
You love Port Townsend.
Yeah, we've talked about it before.
Yeah, my cousins live there.
Yeah.
From there.
Yeah.
Do you have a ghosty vibe of the town?
So I've been into the fort. You know, that's where the hooligans go. And
Smoke pot and sell cigarettes.
Yeah. And people like sleep over there. Like that's like thing that like have sleepovers and stuff.
In the fort?
Yeah.
I mean,
Like-
I guess you do that in Fort Vancouver too.
Yeah.
Like supervised, or like they just go and do it and like nobody knows?
I've never.
Okay.
But like, and then
Agreed.
they have like really skinny long passages too.
Mm.
Is it big?
It's kind of big, yeah.
Hmm.
And you can like walk around all over
Interesting.
Dang.
Does it have a good view? The article talked about how great the view is of.
Of the ocean.
Yeah.
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 Darn.
That's cool.
It's pretty cool. Anyway, but I've never really known about it being haunted.
Oh.
So
Okay. All right. Well, you're about to find out.
Enlighten me.
So, this fort, a military fort, was established in 1889 to be a part of the Coastal Defense System, which I don't really know what that is, but
Probably just a coastal defense system.
yeah, maybe they established it after the pig war. Throwback.
Yes, gosh, we were connecting a lot of dots.
So there are two places that this article talked about specifically. One of them is the guardhouse. So at this guardhouse, apparently a former guard is still performing his duties and fuming about his death.
Oh no.
Which I don't know how they know that he's fuming about
Yeah.
it. They describe this ghost like it's an actual person.
Okay, please talk about it.
Okay, so
Is that the one of the picture that you showed me?
yeah, that's what they claim.
Mhm.
Yeah, they claim that later on there's a picture. We'll get to it. Okay, so the article asserts that a depressed and discouraged guard accidentally misfired his pistol and killed himself, and they say that it was an accident and not like suicide, because apparently, if someone dies from a stupid reason or an unavoidable accident, they won't be able to like let it go in death, and so they'll like try and like hang on to life because it was like a stupid accident and not really their fault.
Yes.
You know, and so that's kind of their argument.
Like they're not able to pass on.
Yeah. And they also, so the grounds have been restored, and so they make the claim that if it is made to look like it once was, that can be like a trigger for ghosts to like come back.
Do you think they're all just sitting around going, I am triggered?
Oh no, it'd be I am triggered.
They should just put like a sign at the front of the fort, like ghost trigger warning. Like, okay. So, anyways, that's what they claim. This whole guy, his name on the website,
No.
is entity of an army sergeant male entity.
Entity of a male army sergeant male entity.
Yes, entity is in there
love that
twice.
name.
Yeah,
It really tells you what it's about.
Getting
Yeah.
that monogrammed on a towel.
Entity of a what is it?
See?
Entity of an army sergeant male entity. And there's no commas in there. It's all just like
my God.
one title.
They're really the New York Times of ghost websites.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And he's described, which I don't know who's describing this
Yeah.
ghost, as being a shy but angry ghost that is mad with himself.
Mm.
Oh.
Do they sit and talk with him? Male entity ghost?
So, no talking. I guess they think that he's intelligent because investigators have like been like, oh, there's a ghost here, make yourself like,
No.
yeah, no, like do something. And then they apparently see him.
Okay.
So they think he's intelligent because he can respond to humans.
Okay.
Supposedly.
Well,
Supposedly,
wait.
yeah.
How does he respond?
He like appears.
Apparition.
Which I'm gonna get to.
Oh, okay.
So, a paranormal investigator and author of more than 20 paranormal books, Fiona Bloom.
Hold on, that name sounds familiar.
She's probably famous.
Okay.
Probably. I don't know. She's written over 20 books, so
But are they the little paperback ones they sell in like corner stores though?
probably.
Dollar Tree
I don't
stores?
know.
Because you could get published by Dollar Tree easy.
Yeah. I probably.
Sorry, I'm just
Yeah.
really
Let's just go with that.
making a fuss about it.
So she was at this fort for some like haunted convention thing, ghost convention, where they investigate and stay overnight and that kind of thing. And so she was right outside the guardhouse, and she saw sparkling orbs. She said that they were really vivid.
Okay.
She said crayon box colored sparkles. And so, which I thought was an interesting.
I buy those sparkles.
Yeah. So she immediately took out her camera and started snapping a bunch of photos.
Snap.
She said that most of them didn't look like the photos didn't come out with the orbs, but some of them did.
Okay.
So she says that there's no way it could be like light leaks because some of them didn't have the orbs and then some of them did. So like, there's nothing wrong with the camera because like, why would it work? Sometimes
it would be
it
would, what's it called? It'd be consistent.
Yeah.
That's the word.
And then she says it's not pollen or dust because it was too humid for dust and it was too windy for pollen.
Yeah.
I guess it would be streaky on the camera if it was pollen. So that's her claim. She said that they were between ball size and beach ball size orbs.
Oh.
But the real main show here is in one of the photos. There is a blue transparent figure who they believe is entity of an Army Sergeant male entity.
Oh my!
The same guy.
I saw it.
Yeah.
And I
what do
got
you think?
goosebumps. I got goosebumps.
Did you really?
No.
Okay, yeah. That's what I thought. Because it really just looks like a blue blob. Honestly,
bloob.
yeah,
A bloob.
yeah, a bloob. Yeah. So, and then apparently another investigator, who I don't know how you pronounce this. So it's Z''An. So I don't know if it's Zan or Zane.
Suzanne.
Zian.
Zian. All right.
Zan.
And that's the one who asked, after this happened, they asked for the entity to appear, and they did.
Oh, cool.
Entity
Of an Army Sergeant male entity.
Army Sergeant male entity.
Our entity.
Of a male of
no.
an Army Sergeant male entity.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Two entities.
Hate it.
Because it's not only an entity of a male sergeant, also of a sergeant and a male. So there's two entities in one.
Oh, it's a double take.
Yeah.
Yeah. Double entity.
Double entity.
Yeah.
Gosh, that's almost dangerous.
Okay. So that's the guardhouse. That's what they have for that. They think it's still haunted. That was in 2003. The other place that they think is haunted is the it's like the commanding quarter, like the commanding officer's quarters.
Okay.
So his house. And they have a photo of like their bedroom. And it's kind of weird. So it's very similar actually to the entity of an Army Sergeant male entity photo, where it's like kind of like a blue transparent thing off to the right, and it looks like a cloth.
Oh.
Like, it doesn't really look, I guess it could be a person like wearing a robe or something, but it's just like kind of like cloth. It looks like drapes, I guess, off to the side, but it's transparent. And then towards the middle, there's a picture with a glass frame, and reflected in that, you can kind of see what looks like an outline of a human head.
Are we sure Josh didn't take the photos?
It honestly, when I first saw it, I was like, did they use that same app that Josh used? Because it's like off to the right, you know, like how the picture was.
If you guys don't know what they're referencing, go to YouTube and watch episode 5.
Yes, it's episode 5.
Wait, I think it's...
We also talked about it in a different episode.
Right.
In the underground, there's one on the underground tunnels,
Yeah.
and we talked about it there too.
Yeah. So yeah, and they think that that's the commanding officer and his wife in their room.
Oh wow.
Yeah. That's pretty much it.
Wowzers.
Yeah, I thought there would be, like, those were like the two, like the orbs and then...
So people just see
male
apparitions a
entity.
lot.
I guess so.
That's
Yeah, it's
wild.
how I found this, like how I discovered this place is
Yeah.
I typed in like haunted places in the Northwest, and this came up number 1, like number 1 on the list, haunted, most
Seriously?
haunted.
Was like Fort Vancouver on there?
I just saw this and I was
he
like,
was done at one.
yeah, it was love at first sight.
Dang,
I couldn't.
So have you
choose
guys
another
been
one.
there?
No, I've never been
I've
to Fort
never been.
Counseling.
Wow.
How far away is that? Like 6 hours?
No, it's only like 3.
Yeah.
Well, I'd go on a day.
It's cute.
Okay. Got a B&B for us?
Yeah.
Great.
We can just
My-
we
my
can sleep at the
uncle's
fort.
And just sleep in the fort, yeah.
Yeah.
Or your uncle's house. You can go to the fort.
They do have a
A sleepover
a
there.
treehouse.
You can sleep in there.
No. I wouldn't want to. Raccoons would probably live up there.
Ugh, gross. Hear them scurrying about.
I feel like there was like needles up there and
no, fully not safe.
yeah.
Okay. Oh.
So, Ian.
Okay. So mine's mine's gonna be a lot. If you don't like hearing stories about serial killers or like graphic depiction, I tried to keep it to a minimum.
Oh God! All right, guys. Sorry,
That's-
I'm leaving.
Oh, okay.
That's why I picked ghosts, because I'm like so tired of describing. Like, I don't mind it when you guys do it, but I don't like
it's
describing.
I get like halfway through writing these, and I'm like, this is just a bummer. I'm like 3 glasses of Chardonnay in, and I'm like, okay, gotta keep going. Okay, so this is from, I got all this information from the Columbian, the Oregonian, and different like murder enthusiast websites.
Oh yeah, the Columbian Oregon. Yeah, they really focus on.
Yeah, they really do. It's great. Okay, so this is the Molalla. I can't do it.
No, I can't.
Molalla.
Is there any?
Molla.
Molalla.
Yeah, Molalla Forest Killer.
Is there any
Molalla.
relation to the to the girl?
No,
okay.
not to the Molalla. Right?
Okay, same name
I don't
though,
know.
right?
Molalla and Molalla. Wait, Okay, here we go. I'm getting kerfuffled.
Okay.
How do you say the name, Emily?
Molalla.
Molalla. The Molalla Forest Killer is what we're going to be talking about.
Malala.
Okay.
Molalla.
Are we ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay. On the evening of Monday, August 31st, Everett Bernard was hunting on a private 90,000-acre timber farm southeast of Molalla, Oregon, when he stumbled over the nude, partially buried body of a young woman.
Oh.
The body was in an advanced stage of decomposition and was partially covered with brush. He was so unnerved by the gruesome discovery that the hunter left quickly and reported it to the Clackamas County authorities, as one would hopefully do. When investigators arrived at the remote site, a recreation area near the river that was popular for fishermen, swimmers, and hunters, and other outdoorsy types, the bow hunter led them up to an old, dirty logging road through the rugged mountain forest, mixed with evergreens and trees, to a nearly vertical slope where he discovered the body. And even though it was a little difficult to get to the investigators, it was difficult for the investigators to get there.
Right.
They had no trouble finding the corpse because of the smell.
Ugh.
At first glance, the detectives couldn't tell if the body had been buried by forces of nature or if someone had attempted to conceal it, but it was like obvious she was a murder victim due to like wounds and missing limbs.
Wow.
Due to the lateness of the hour, no attempt was made to like search the area, so they just covered it off and parked a bunch of police cars around the area to make sure no one could come through and mess with the crime scene. But in the next morning, shortly after they began searching early, 2 more corpses were found in the same general area, 50 feet away from each other. The scene appeared to be a cluster dump, is what they called it. This is similar to what they found a couple years earlier in the Washington State Green River serial killer murders.
Oh.
Yeah. Unsure of what they were dealing with here, the investigators temporarily halted the search and brought in a bunch more tracking dogs to try and find more bodies, because obviously there's,
Right.
and they're all in different stages of decomposition.
Do they think when was this?
This was in 1987.
Do they think that like maybe there could be more like that they didn't find?
I'll get to that at the end.
Okay.
Because I'm kind of debating
on
whether or not they could. So over the next 5 days, a total of 7 female corpses were brought down from the forest ridge. All were nude when found. All bore signs of stabbing, torture, and mutilation. Some of the victims' feet had been crudely removed at the ankle with what appeared to be a blade with a serrated edge, like a hacksaw.
Wow.
One victim's foot had been cut approximately 2/3 of the way through the bone, with the remainder bone broken off. This prompted the detectives to consider that the perpetrator had sawed these women's feet off while they were still alive and conscious in an attempt to elicit additional pain. However, the one victim whose bone had been only partially sawed off and then broken the rest of the way likely had gone into shock, and the breaking of the bone had likely been a last-ditch attempt at breaking through the shock barrier to elicit one final response of pain from the victim. Let's let that sink in. It's a lot. It's a lot. But they do say, like, once, like, if you're stabbed, like, God forbid any of us are ever stabbed to death, you actually don't feel it because you just feel pressure because your body's in so much shock. You feel the first one, but the rest of them.
Interesting.
Yeah. Which, I don't know. Fun fact, I guess.
I guess there's some silver lining.
Yeah, there is silver lining.
A little bit.
Same with shark attacks. You usually don't feel your leg getting bit off.
Right.
Because your body doesn't know how to process what's happening. Because it's such severe trauma. Anyway, each of the victims were in varying degrees of decomposition, like I stated, but 2 were definitely more advanced, having been there considerably longer than the others. This is where things get
That's weird.
Yeah.
That they're all different. Because wouldn't you... If it was you, wouldn't you be worried to go back to the same place over and over and over a long period of time?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
So a few days earlier, like 3 weeks earlier, on August 7th, so we're still in August of 1987.
Okay.
We're going to flash back. Are you ready? So they're still, they don't know who committed the murders. They don't really have any leads, right?
Okay.
There's 7 butchered corpses in the woods.
And how long have they been discovered? And
so we're going. This is like 3 weeks early. 3 weeks earlier. We're going prior to that event.
Oh, okay.
On August 7th at 1 a.m. on Union Avenue in Portland, or as it's known as Prostitutes Row, a sex worker by the name of Jennifer Lisa Smith was approached by a man who pulled his car up next to his truck, saying he was looking for some kinky action. He recognized her as someone he had picked up before during Portland's 1987 Rose Festival. So when he pulled over and invited her inside, she recognized him also and didn't hesitate to get into the truck, which, great. No one except for the man knows the precise details of what happened between them. Their encounter lasted between 1 and 3 a.m., but at some point prior to 3 a.m., they pulled into the parking lot of a Denny's restaurant on the 16200 block of Southeast McLaughlin Boulevard in Oak Grove, a Clackamas County suburb of Portland, as most of us should know.
Wow.
And it was the only restaurant area open in the area, and there were people inside dining. And people saw the car park, but no one got out. It was kind of in the back of the lot. People didn't really pay much attention to it,
Right, yeah, that's interesting.
So a man named Michael Fielding, a 32 who lived in an apartment nearby, had gone to bed a couple of hours earlier and was sleeping when he heard the muffled screams of a woman in intense pain. He recalled hearing, "Help me, help me, help me, please help, I'm being raped, please help." As Fielding climbed out of bed and headed towards his window, he oversaw the parking lot of the Denny's and saw that the screams were now being muffled. And when he really peered through the window, he saw a man run beneath a street light. So what I'm about to explain is all happening in tandem. So that's one person's view of the attack.
Okay. All right.
So the next people that I'm going to talk about all saw it at the same time. So another man named Charles Gates, who was a handicapped customer who was seated right outside next to the window, had just barely gotten into his wheelchair when he heard the screams. He kind of wheeled his way over to the woman, and another man with him was by the last name of Dalk, I think is how you pronounce it. They saw a man kneeling over a woman, and he jumped to his feet and ran the opposite direction as they saw the 2 men approaching him.
Wow.
They remember. So what they saw is her throat had been cut open. He fell from his wheelchair, trying to administer first aid when he saw that she had a giant gash in her throat, and he noted that the woman was not breathing and wouldn't respond to questions. Finding no pulse, and an extreme amount of blood, he immediately began CPR and mouth-to-mouth resuscitation. So a crowd began to gather, as one does when everyone's freaking out about a body being found in a parking lot. The woman was not revived, obviously, and the woman was naked, covered with blood and stab wounds. More than 11 stab wounds over her breast and torso.
Wow.
So a couple minutes later, a bystander, the man Dalk, again, who I talked about earlier, said he saw, right after they approached the victim, a man who got up from kneeling next to her and ran to his truck and sped off in the opposite direction.
Okay.
He was in a small foreign pickup truck, and so a man who was also there, Richard Bergio, got in his car and chased the man through Oak Grove neighborhood to nearby Gladstone at speeds over 100 miles an hour. He got close enough to the car to copy down its license plate number, and when he did that, he went back to the scene of the crime and met the Clackamas County Sheriff's officers and gave them the information.
Okay.
Good for him.
Yeah. So deputies found several articles of clothing not far away from the victim's body. They believe they were hers, including blue jeans, a hooded blue sweater with white trim, a single tennis shoe. But the deputies couldn't find the other shoe until later when they saw that the shoelaces had been taken out of the shoe. It was thrown off to the side with there were marks on the laces that looked like skin marks, which and in the way it was knotted, the woman had been hogtied at one point in the car.
Wow.
Isn't that horrifying?
That is horrifying.
Yeah. So when they got the license plate number, they put it into their registry. This is just, it's a lot, you know?
Yeah.
Okay. And they found that the truck belonged to 33-year-old Dayton Leroy Rogers.
I actually kind of like that name.
Oh, God.
Okay, sorry.
Don't get that to him.
Sorry.
And his address was listed 20 miles south of the crime scene. So they're like, okay, well, this is probably obviously our guy. It's the only lead we have, so we're going to go check it out. So it's about 5 a.m., and they drive over to his house. No sign of the pickup truck on the property. And they were told by a relative that lives with Rogers he wasn't home, but he could likely be found at his auto repair shop in the 11600 block of Pacific Court in Woodburn, a few miles south of Canby, Oregon. The relative told the sleuths, I don't know why they use the word sleuths, but, you know, the officers, that Rogers sometimes worked odd hours in the shop, which is all going to become very clear why he's working odd hours. It was 5:35 a.m. when the detectives, when Detective Turner arrived at Rogers' shop. After a curious glance around outside, he knocked on the door, and a man with bloodshot eyes answered, reeking of alcohol, is what the Oregonian said. And he identified himself as Dayton Rogers. After Turner and Rogers talked for a little bit, he said he was looking into a homicide investigation and asked if he was allowed inside, and Rogers agreed, because if you have nothing to hide, let the cops in. Rule number 1. Okay. So, even though they noted that his pupils were dilated, and he had no difficulty walking or talking, even though they smelled alcohol, he didn't appear to be drunk. They noticed that his hands were cut open.
Was it because he was actually drinking alcohol, or was it like from like?
I think maybe like if you like have a drink, sometimes you can smell it.
Okay.
You know, and if it's like liquor,
it's not from like rubbing alcohol from like saving their
toes.
Or
maybe that's gross. Not that I know of.
That's what I was picturing.
That's wild. Anyways. That's a wild thought to have. Where am I? Let's see. Okay, yeah. So they noticed that his hands had been cut open, and there was like wrapped in bandages. And he said it was an accident with a saw, which I guess isn't a lie. I mean, it is. But like,
depending on how you look at it.
They thought it was weird, but he said it happened a few minutes ago, like a couple minutes ago, like while he was working in a shop on his truck. And the investigators went over to his truck, touched the hood of it. It was still like blazing hot. So like, okay, and the truck obviously matched the descriptions at the crime scene.
It was the same license plate.
Same license plate, obviously. Okay. Yeah. So they know this is it. And this is where things get a little interesting.
Okay.
So, Rogers then told the police that he had been at the shop all night, just to restate that he had been there, and that he'd been drinking bourbon and strawberry mixers, which I don't know why he told that lie, but he did. So the officers again took a look around, found some weird things. His car was no doubt the one that matched the license plate and description. So they did a little bit of a background check on Rogers.
Okay.
And they found that he was no stranger to law enforcement, as they usually aren't. We're probably going to go over tonight, guys, so just get ready. There's no one on after us. We're almost done.
Okay.
In 1974 is when his crime sprees started. He sexually assaulted an 18-year-old girl and was indicted in January of 1974, but he was allowed to remain free pending a May trial that was later dismissed. Pretty great, right? In February of that year, so a month later, he assaulted 2 teenage girls, sexually assaulting one of them, pleaded not guilty because of a mental disease, and was again let off the hook.
Wow.
Yeah. In May of that year, he was acquitted of his December rape charges, which they had thrown the thing out, but they decided to acquit him completely of them. So, you know, great. And in June, his parole for the knife attack, he attacked the girls with a knife, the 18-year-old girls with a knife. It was revoked, and so was the sexual assault charge.
So it sounds like this guy could have been in jail this whole time.
Oh, should have been.
Yeah.
Fully. And then in August,
Yikes.
acquitted of newer sexual assault charges. But was convicted of 2 counts of coercion and sentenced to 5 years. But he was paroled in January 1982, having served 5.5 years. And 1 year later, his parole supervision was terminated, which it should not have been. So this guy, we literally let psychopaths just go.
Bum the streets.
Yep.
Maybe that's why we have so many serial killers, because we just don't put him behind bars when we should.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
And so they don't really know what he was up to between 1982 and 1987, but with all the bodies they found in the forest, they don't know it's him yet, but...
Oh, so they still don't know.
They still don't know it's him.
So
This is still before they find the bodies.
Okay.
Remember
Okay.
that. This is all before they find the bodies in the forest.
right. I forgot that we went back. Okay.
So, despite the similarities between the female victims at the Molalla forest slope and the Jennifer Smith killing, which the bodies were the same, so stab wounds, hands had been hogtied, lacerations around the neck, wrist, cuts on, stabbing, torture, mutilation, blah, 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 blah. The detectives didn't first focus on Dayton Rogers as a suspect in that. He was just charged with the murder of Jennifer. However, the detective Turner, who walked around the forest site, soon spotted miniature bottles of vodka and old packaging that had been purchased, the packaging it had been purchased in, along with disposable orange juice bottles. And these were the same types of drinks found in Dayton's truck. So it's the same type of drink he makes. So they just kind of were like, hold on.
And they found this where?
At the forest.
Oh.
Next to all the corpses. Yeah.
So that's what clued them in.
So 3 weeks later, when he was looking at the corpses in the forest, he was like, hold on, we have a man sitting in prison that I think we need to have a talking to. Because you look at his criminal record and then you kind of compare his M.O. It's the exact same. And it didn't take long until Turner stated out publicly that they had no doubt that Dayton Rogers was the prime suspect in the Molalla forest murders. The dead, it turned out, the ones who were found, were identified over the next several months as Lisa Marie Mock, 23, Maureen Ann Hodges, 26, Christine Lotus Adams, 35, Kay Caravantis, 26, also known as Naomi K. Austin, Retha Giles, 16, and Cynthia Diane DeVore, 21. One victim remains unidentified to this day, and just as Turner had figured, most of the victims had either worked as prostitutes at the time of their death or had arrest records for prior prostitution offenses. Some were heroin addicts, and only one had no links to prostitution or drugs, which was the 16-year-old.
Wow.
That's terrible.
Through circumstantial evidence, he was clearly connected to the murders of 7 other women who had been found at the remote gravesite in the forest. Some of the victims were found with their feet severed, again. One had been eviscerated from the genitals to the sternum. The coroner's reports indicate that the injuries were likely suffered by the victims while they were still alive, also as they had thought, so that's all been proven accurate. In February 1988, Rogers was sentenced to life with the possibility of parole.
What?
With. Say that again.
Okay, can we get an update on this guy? Because
Yeah.
I want to know what he's doing.
But that was just for the August 6th murder, or August 7th murder.
Oh,
Jennifer.
okay, gotcha.
But in June 1989, he was sentenced to death for all the killings in Forest. But the death sentence was then revoked, and he remains in captivity is for animals, so I guess captivity.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
But he's still
Nice.
Wow.
he has
still
yet
alive.
to be forthcoming with information regarding other women who disappeared around the same time.
So we don't know.
So we don't know. We don't know if there's more bodies buried out there somewhere, and he's being really hesitant.
Why not just, like, if you're in there for life, why not just let it all out?
Yeah.
This is actually not Salem, this is Oregon's worst serial killer.
Oh.
Serial killing.
Oh.
Worst.
Interesting.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's the Molalla Forest killer.
Wow.
So.
Wow. Glad to be back.
Glad to be back.
I
Happy
feel
we're
like
here.
the serial killer ones just remind me how like messed up the justice system is.
Oh,
like every time.
Totally.
Every time it's always messed up.
Because they should clearly be put away for a long
Yeah.
fucking time. And the thing is, we don't even focus on rehabilitating people. We
Right.
focus on throwing them away, and then their money sucks to our
Right.
system, and then we throw them back out into public when they're going to do more harm. And there was like a bunch of stuff on the Oregonian website about how like the idea of like it's going to sound stupid, but like bloodlust in humans, and if it like is seen at a young age, it's like an unquenchable thing, and it will like continue throughout their life. Like they will want to kill.
Interesting.
Oh.
It's kind of like it's like an animalist. It's a very animal thing. So I don't know. And when you have people that like show signs of that, they should be seriously looked at.
Have you guys heard of the show Mindhunter?
Oh, Mindhunter. Yes.
Yeah.
It's any listeners out there who are interested in serial killers.
It's legit.
You should definitely watch it. It reminded me of the podcast because it's just it's about serial killers and like their minds and their thoughts. So. Yeah, so Emily, do you want to kick us off with the segment?
Yeah.
Get some
All right,
happy endings up in here.
Get that.
Yeah, let's do a deep breath.
Yeah.
All right, so over Christmas break, my house was visited by Santa.
Oh.
I thought you were going to say a ghost.
Yeah, me too. I was like, or like she was like robbed. I was like, God, why weren't we talking about this?
No. So.
Wait, are you sure it wasn't visited by Krampus or?
God. So, so my segment is all about the environment. If you didn't know. So what I collected over, winter break from using gift cards myself and my mother. Thank you so much. So, I have a bamboo toothbrush now.
Oh, cool.
Wow.
Okay, so no more toothbrushes in those oceans. I have a non-plastic deodorant. So you don't even, just like toiletries that you don't even think of that are plastic.
Yeah.
So what does it look like?
It's still in a tube, and it's just cardboard. But it's not like
neat.
it's like heavy duty cardboard. It's not like
so it's not gonna like get all greasy.
Right, yeah. And I also have one that's in a jar, and it's like it comes with a little spoon, and you like get the deodorant out, and you like
that's
like a gold spoon.
That's cool though.
Yeah, and same with chapstick. Chapsticks in cardboard. That's cute.
Because that's cool because I use chapsticks like a motherfucker.
Okay, well then you should get some cardboard chapstick.
Okay.
I also got a not shampoo bar, a body bar and like a conditioner bar.
Nice.
The shampoo bars, I haven't found one I liked because it doesn't work. You have to like acclimate your hair to it, and it takes too long.
Oh.
So that's one thing I haven't done yet. But and I got just like reusable lunch bags instead of like Ziploc. They're like little tiny snack bags.
Oh, neat.
And I got beeswax paper instead of using saran wrap. So you use the beeswax and you just warm it up with your hands, and then it goes over like anything that you would usually put saran wrap over.
That's so cool.
So just like little things, like instead of I've been preaching, reducing single-use plastic, but now, moving into that like other step of like actually infiltrating it into your everyday life.
Absolutely. That's cool.
So that's what I did over there.
Where can you get products like that?
So majority on Amazon.
Okay.
And then just basically in Oregon and Washington, like they
just like a regular
the
like,
Amity
convenience store
soaps
and stuff?
in Oregon, Farmstead Apothecary, Moon Valley Organics, Primal Life, and all that stuff. And even if you just search on Amazon, like conditioner bar, the one I got on Amazon is blackcurrant, and it smells so good. But anyways,
blackcurrant.
Yeah, and I also got a turtle.
You got a live turtle?
Mm-hmm.
Like an animal? Like whoa.
What's
it's
the name?
Kemp's Ridley. His name is Hang Ten.
Oh, okay.
And he lives in in the Gulf of Texas in a rehabilitation center.
Hold on.
Oh, okay.
So you adopted him.
Right.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he
She got a pet turtle from Petco. I was like, oh,
yeah,
neat.
I was fully picturing like you having a turtle.
No,
yeah.
I would never.
Oh, okay.
Just-
Wait,
and then just
why?
because that's goes against everything. Anyways, yeah, I just put
their fault.
I just put straws in his cage for him to play with and plastic bottles.
How'd you do that?
It was online. My mom did it. I was like,
That's
one of
very
my
cool.
presents.
That's cool, though.
So you just donate to the company, and then they give you like a certificate of adoption back.
Oh, nice.
And they give you a little bio about him. So what happened to him is he was hatched at the sanctuary, and then they released him into the ocean, but he had a deformed flipper, and he couldn't make it, so that he washed back up on shore. And so now he lives there.
Nice.
Very cool.
Yeah. And they sent me a little magnet with him on it.
Is he cute?
No, he's got a deformed...
Oh, okay.
No, yeah.
Got a magic flipper?
Yeah.
Well, that is awesome.
Yeah.
Not quite as awesome if you had actually gotten a turtle.
A giant sea turtle?
No, I'm just kidding. Okay.
So tell us some spooky fun facts.
So I'm actually going to start a series
Oh.
of facts specifically about the Northwest. And I'm going to take it state by state.
Yeah.
So I think we're going to start with Oregon this week.
Great. Love it.
So this one's kind of spooky. This is the only spooky one. So in Salem, there's a 1 in 265 chance of falling victim to a violent crime. If you live in Salem.
That doesn't
one in
shock
how
me.
many?
Kayla, I know you're listening.
Yeah,
A 1 in
265.
Be safe.
Oh.
And get this, 1 in 24 of being victim of a property crime. So like theft, burglary.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Kayla, again, safety is key.
Yeah, that was shocking to me.
Yeah. Well, it's Salem. I got food poisoning at the Fred Meyer there.
I mean, yeah. It's Salem, you know.
Salem.
Yeah. That's Salem for you. Okay, and then Portland,
Okay.
get this, has the smallest park in the world.
I've seen
been
it.
there.
I've been there.
I've
Yes.
been
Yes,
there.
I totally knew that you guys were going to know about this. So it's called Mill Ends Park.
Mm-hmm.
It's a small circle. It's 2 feet across.
It is.
Smallest
So
park in the
cute.
world.
How cool.
I know. We
Yeah.
have that.
And this one's kind of interesting. So Oregon residents own a quarter of the country's llama population.
Oh my god.
What?
Just in Oregon.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So, Oregon's a pretty cool place.
Nice.
Oregon is a pretty cool place.
Besides Salem. Not Salem.
No,
Don't
not
go to
Salem.
Salem.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Do you have any pop culture corner?
Yeah, and this one's
just to wrap it up.
this one's pretty severe.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know if you were all privileged enough to last Tuesday night witness the premiere of Lindsay Lohan's Beach Club on MTV.
No.
I didn't, but I saw on the guide, and I was like, oh my god, Ian's going to be all over this.
Yeah, and Ian was. I
Oh my
recorded
God.
it.
Do you watch The Bachelor?
No, but I want to start.
You
It's
should.
only second week.
Because I know there's that woman
Yeah.
who faked an Australian accent.
Yeah.
That's hysterical to
Yeah.
me.
And
Anyway,
she's still there.
she's still around?
Yeah. Right?
Okay, don't spoil it.
Oh, sorry.
Right.
I will literally go home and watch it tonight.
It's on
in bed.
Hulu.
Oh, great. Then I'll just plug it in when I go home.
It's great.
But Lindsay Lohan's Beach Club, let's get back to what we're really here
Sorry.
for.
Yeah.
A couple cool things happened with that. One, it got more views than Trump's address to the nation. Which is
No
that just goes to show who's really
way.
leading this country, and that's Lindsay Lohan.
Yeah.
She's back at it.
That's my president.
Yeah, nothing but respect for my president.
2020?
Lohan 2020.
Oh.
She opened a club in Mykonos. Now she's going to take over the United States.
Mm.
But here's the thing: is everyone on the Twitter sphere, on reviews on entertainment websites or whatever, all talked about how awful she looked,
Aw.
and I just want to for one, we don't need to focus on that.
She's been through enough.
Yes.
And that's the thing. She's been through enough. Also,
Yes.
what do you expect for someone who on Oprah said she did cocaine only 13 times, which no one only does cocaine 13 times. If you're doing cocaine, doing it, you're doing...
That's too specific a number.
It's too specific. She was like, Oprah's like, how many times did you do cocaine? She's like, go watch the clip. She's like, 13 times. And Oprah even calls bullshit. She's like, 13 times?
If she said
only
twice,
13.
I would believe it.
Yeah, twice, fine, absolutely. But you get past 5, you're doing cocaine. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anyway,
You're
it's
not
hard-
keeping track anymore.
No,
Yeah.
so I don't know why people are so freaked out about it. But it's honestly an awful TV show. It's so bad.
Okay, I was just about to ask you whether you actually.
I don't know if I'm going to continue to watch it.
Okay.
Because
Because
It's-
you'll be watching The Bachelor. Right?
I'll be watching The Bachelor, and it's also the worst people because she's bringing these people on for a summer internship,
Okay.
and if they last, they get a job with her.
So it's kind of like The Apprentice.
It's kind of oh my god, Gabe, yes, but no, I'm gonna watch one more episode, give it another try, but
Okay.
it's bad. It's a bad show, but definitely watch.
Yeah, I'll give it a watch.
It's weird. It's all about people who just don't have their priorities straightened out.
Wow.
And they're all really fit. And all I care about is making. It's just it's sad. It's
Yeah.
you guys are really dumb.
Is it kind of like Jersey Shore meets The Apprentice, pretty much?
It is Jersey Shore meets The Apprentice in Greece.
Nice.
That's okay. I'm kind of.
Yeah, no, it actually
Intrigued.
it's a brain suck because you know that you're smarter than everyone on that show, and you're you guys are the worst of humanity. But it's also if you want to just relax and not
Right.
think about anything,
Yeah.
go for Lindsay Lohan's Beach Club
All right.
on at 9 p.m. MTV. Tuesday nights.
Perfect.
Anyway,
Wow, what a great
Yeah.
episode to be back.
honestly,
For show.
pretty good, y'all.
Yeah.
It feels good to be back.
Great start to the year.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Happy New Year, everyone.
Yeah.
We'll be back next week with some more stuff. Hopefully not serial killers, but maybe. I mean, we have a lot of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
there's too many.
Instagram Creepin.
And then
it real pod.
apostrophe.
There's an
apostrophe.
Okay.
Not on Instagram. On the username.
Okay.
And then Twitter is Creepin R. And then our YouTube.
Yeah. Find us on YouTube, honestly.
Yeah.
And our YouTube is just Creepin' Real.
And honestly, if you want to skip episode 1, skip episode 1. It's a little awkward.